What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Long Days. You're probably seeing this a couple of days late, courtesy of Google, courtesy of YouTube. They have changed our schedule for us, meaning we uploaded this when we were back allowed into our channel. We've lost the keys to our house, so to speak, and we're sitting outside, but we decided we're going to sit outside in the cold and make the episode and wait for the cops to come and open up the door. The locksmith's coming. Don't you worry. We're on a 7-day ban for we don't know what. Comedy, I take it. It could have been something, so just know I am a comedian. This is a satire. Don't take me seriously. I need to treat you all like 3-year-olds. Allegedly, everything I say is alleged, even though it's news, and I'm obviously making jokes. So if I tell you something like, smoke weed to stop COVID, I'm joking, even though it's an actual study that's out, but I'm sure I just got taken down right now. I'm sure if you're still here watching the rest of the video, it's just because Google is too busy perusing other channels. They will get to me. So it's good to be back. It's good to see you. We got a lot to talk about. First is we have an unprecedented Rhodes Scholar for the first time, a foster child. A foster child has been admitted into Oxford University. Absolutely a foster child who grew up in abject poverty, made it all the way from a $30,000 private school to Oxford. I'm telling you, the foster care system has really upped its game. Pope Francis railing against cancel culture. This comes a week after he railed against people who had pets instead of kids, and comes 2 weeks after saying that people who cheat on their wives ain't such a big deal. Here's the deal, Popey France. At this point, I don't know if you could still call yourself Catholic, dog. That's like me stuffing a burger on my face and saying I'm a strict vegetarian. I mean, at this point, dog, it's time to move on, get a beanie, create a social media account, and become an influencer. Because you're really just talking about trending topics. Trump and Desantis, another war. You know we like to go in on the smoke on this show. It looks like we got a little heated, friendly rivalry between two prospective prospects in the GOP to come in 2024. Who do you got? Are you going with age over beauty? Are you going orange hair over brunette? What is your preference? Are you going over boosted, over also boosted, but ashamed to say it? Which one are you going for? Prince Harry, his case has been rejected. He tried to sue to stop. He was trying to stop the legal process from getting sued from allegedly sleeping with an underage girl via his hookup man. Shout out Maxwell. Shout out Gasoline Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein with the John Stockton assist on that one. Epstein sets him up, pick and roll, and Prince Andrew knocks him down. We'll get to that. NPR interview with Donald Trump ends with a nice closing bit, and then he walks off the stage. We'll get to that as well. Leonardo DiCaprio jumps off his boat to save a guy who jumped off of his boat in what was a pre-orchestrated media stunt to continue to get attention for his movie Don't Look Up. This is Long Days. This is hopefully on YouTube. And that's what the deal is.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who, to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day. It's a long day.
All right, guys, it's a fun show. We got Jared Harvin in studio, as always. We got Jesse Scatoro manning the keys with his 2 fingers. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Jesse Scatoro. He could lose a bet to the mafia, could owe the mafia money, and they chop off all 4 of his fingers, including his thumb, and he would still Google at the same speed as he Googles right now. It's 2 pointer fingers this. It's just like that.
I got a thumb in there. I hit the space
Once
bar.
in a while, you hit the thumb with the space bar, and that's what it is. Jared Harvin's here. We're going to be in San Diego right now. If you're watching this, next week, we will be in San Diego. Jared Harvin will be with me at the American Comedy Company. So if you're in the San Diego area, get tickets. Also, go to my website, yannispappascomedy.com, for dates coming up in Canada. There's 2 of them, Edmonton, and another one in Canada. And then San Antonio, Phoenix, and Bloomington, Minnesota. Jared Harvin will be with me for some of those, and Mike Suarez will be with me for 2 of them, San Antonio and Tampa. So go to yannispappascomedy.com. Come see a live show. Don't worry about the Omicron. You know, it's milder, okay? All you got to do is smoke a blunt before you go out, and you'll be fine. You will be fine. We have a new OSU study. Now, is that a real school, or is that, what is OSU? Oklahoma State University? They did a study, and what they found was that hemp prevents COVID from entering your cells. Wouldn't that be funny if we went through a two-year pandemic and they just found out all you got to do is pop an edible and you're good? I mean, if I was the legal marijuana business right now, I would sue. And say, hey, dude, we've been telling you all along, marijuana is a cure-all. Now, here's the thing why I don't trust this article. Okay, I don't trust this article. Because the media runs with everything. Well, first of all, it's on like Vice and some local thing. So I don't know. But here's the problem. This is what's been the problem with COVID and why there's so much discord with COVID, is that the media just runs with whatever they hear immediately. You know, when it comes to these studies, you got to do another study. You got to do a control study. It's just, but the media just gets here's a rumor, and they just run. They just want to be the first there, and they're going like, they're going like this. I bet you they had a meeting, because I used to work for a media company. What happens is they meet and they go, what do we got? What do we got? So I bet they met and they were like, what angle? God damn you! And now is it? So they go, tell me if you can't hear me. And they go, what angle have we not used on COVID yet? Because at this point, I think every angle has been used. I don't think there's a story you could come up with on COVID. You could say everything about COVID. And one guy just raises his hand and goes, why don't we go back to old reliable? Okay? Old reliable is marijuana cures everything. Do you notice that? There was this recent movement where like, you could Google anything. You could be like, marijuana with stub toe. And there'll be a study that goes like, marijuana has shown to relieve pain in the stub toe. You could have a brain injury and go like, marijuana will regrow your brain. Allergies. Marijuana is great for allergies. Depression after being rejected from a girl. Smoke a couple of bowl hits. It's been proven to definitely help with depression.
Foreclosure.
Yeah, CBD. Yeah, you just foreclose on your house. Pop a couple of CBD gummies, and you get you'll have a new house. The CBD gummies will get you a new house. You'll have keys in your hand as soon as you pop the CBD gummies. I mean, there is just subculture of marijuana addicts, because that's what you are, you children. Grow up. You can't smoke weed anymore. You got bills and kids and shit. Who just says, just take marijuana as a cure-all, be-all. It's like, no, dude, it's good for some things. It's good for cataracts, right? It's been shown to be decent for appetite and pain, okay? But I don't think it's going to help you study, okay? You need Adderall for that. You need Adderall or a Chinese person in class to cheat off of. That's all that helps. Can you guys still hear me in the chat? So marijuana apparently cures COVID. Now, yeah, because I've read everything. I've heard, remember there was a certain time we're going like, people who smoke cigarettes aren't getting it? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Was that like an article that came out? Was that like a Richard Gere gerbil thing?
Probably.
Yeah, was that just a Philip Morris, was that just a Philip Morris drop?
Sponsored by Marlboro.
Yeah, sponsored by some shell company that's owned by Philip Morris. At this point with the internet, I bet you every company has some surreptitious website that's basically like they throw it in there a little bit. They throw their interest in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Philip Morris probably has one where they just kind of, they throw it in like they do in the movies, even in the description, even if the article's not about smoking, they'll be like, a guy was standing over there and he was smoking a Marlboro Red. They just throw it in like there. When 4 people came up and mugged him, but they throw in the Marlboro Red. Yeah. Why wouldn't you at this point? That would be part of my marketing plan. And this is just like Jared said before. This is why they shut us down, because I got ideas. So here I am giving an idea. If they're not doing it, there's going to be some executive watching it going like, why aren't we doing that? Why don't we have some .org, news.org, where every story has because it works. It works. You ever see like those shows where like what the hypnotists do? Like the hypnotists, where they do all the, what is it called? Suggestion? Well, they'll be like, and they'll slip in red. They'll go like, I love your red sneakers, red this. And then they'll do something associated with smoking. And they'll go like, okay, what are you thinking? And you go, Marlboro. And like 10 out of 10 people go Marlboro. It's like, I always wonder, does advertising work? It works. They wouldn't spend millions of dollars to have a Dalmatian run next to a Klondike bar horse if it didn't work. Jesse used to tell me that. It works.
Yeah, it does.
It just works, right?
Yeah.
Cigarettes is it's the perfect product, he used to say.
Absolutely.
Hold it in your hand, open it up, nice little friendly thing.
And you're done with it in 10 minutes.
Done with it in 10 minutes. The accelerants take it down.
And then you want another one.
And then you want another one. You want another one. It's like a Yanni LongDays episode. And you want another one. And YouTube's trying to help you quit. And we're going, no, don't get the patch. Don't get the patch. Keep smoking the Yanni LongDays. Yanni, when are you getting that BBL, baby? What does that mean? $5 for boomer rants.
Brazilian butt lift.
Boomer rants?
Yeah, I should put that on my Patreon. On the $5 level, just call it boomer rants. That's a good dig from a younger kid. Yeah, you're paying $5 for boomer rants. Yanni, when are you transitioning? Soon. I'm going to transition and start a new show called Yana Short Days, where it'll just be the same show, but I'll be a woman, and that'll be it. So let's start with this very fun story of how far the foster care system has gotten in this country. The foster care system, I've heard many horrible stories. I know a few people who've come up through the foster care system. They usually, Monroe Martin, I think, was in foster care for a little bit. A couple comedians. Of course, they become comics because, like, only the best and the brightest in our field, right? It's like Elon Musk was like, why am I doing this? I should be a comedian. Monroe Martin, I think, came up through the foster care, and Bobby Kelly. Has a couple foster people, foster dads and whatever. So I've heard some nightmare stories, but none as horrible as this girl's. This girl, what she's been through. I mean, what this girl has been through. Okay, now this is allegedly, and also I will qualify that. How old is she? 20 something, right? You could just now. Here's the deal. This was a girl who got accepted into Oxford University, where my brother actually went, by the way. That's the difference in genes between me and my brother. My brother got me into college because he pulled the string, and then my mother wrote my papers for me. My brother went to Oxford, Brown, Tufts, Georgetown Law. He went to all those schools and got various degrees at all of them. So that's the difference between me and my brother. Yeah. I'm sitting here cursing into a camera, and my brother is a lawyer. So she went to Oxford. She got in. Now, what they're saying in this article is the admission process for Oxford and all these schools. I think initially she was at Penn, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So this story she's created goes back a long way when she went to Penn. She basically pulled what you call a Steve Renazzisi. She went to a place where nobody knew her, and she said she made her life 9/11, and she said she was there and she got out, right? Basically. So her name is Mackenzie, first of all. Okay, a girl named Mackenzie should have been the first red flag that her story about foster care might not be true. I think you could look back into the history of foster care and you won't find one Mackenzie.
Very short names you find.
Yeah, I feel like the name Mackenzie, you just pop out of the puss when you're born on a horse. You just come out on a pony.
Yes.
And immediately your first word is not dad, your first word is father. Your first word is father, and you definitely are raised in a home that has a foyer, quite a foyer, with a painting up of an ancestor who has a Roman numeral in his name, the first, the second, or third, and your mother has a white wine problem.
There's no toilet paper in your house. It's only bidets.
There's bidets.
Yes.
People wash their ass with water.
That's correct.
Yes, and they're prone to have seafood dinners. And mommy definitely likes a couple pills, and she definitely has a bottle of white wine in the closet.
And it takes you about 3 minutes to bring the garbage can to the street because you know you got a long driveway.
You got a long driveway, and you got to walk it, or it takes the Mexican who works on your land to walk it. It takes him a long time.
Yes.
It takes the landscapers a long time to walk your garbage from your side to your front. Allegedly. Joke. YouTube, it's a joke. But I mean, come on, it's a joke based on truth. That's what humor is. Do you really think Mackenzie's parents walked their own trash cans to the front?
No.
I don't think so.
If anything, they had a golf cart.
They had a golf cart and they did it, or they just had another person that they paid off the books while they tweeted, naturalize everybody. They paid someone off the books a lot cheaper to do it. So it's a win-win. If you're one of those people in LA who constantly tweets about, the dreamers and, natural, it's a win-win because you're getting your lawn mowed for like half the price of someone who's unionized, right? But then you also get to talk to your friends and talk about how progressive you are in your policies. Just please naturalize everyone except for Carlos, because I'm getting a good deal on him right now. So I'll probably, just truthful stuff that we're joking about, gets you taken down these days. So Mackenzie's this girl. So she comes up with the story, Jared and Jesse. She comes up with the story. She's 23-year-old. She comes up with the story that she grew up in foster homes and dealt with, I think there's a direct quote, but abuse. She called it lots of abuse. So much so that it was described by the Oxford spokesperson, whoever who spoke on her behalf after her admission, as a Rhodes Scholar. She was a Rhodes Scholar, which definitely means she's a smart chick.
Yes.
You can't be stupid and be a Rhodes Scholar. That's top of the line. Bill Bradley was a Rhodes Scholar, I believe, for the Knicks. Remember? Mm-hmm. So Mackenzie is so deserving of this prestigious opportunity. We're talking about Oxford. As a first-generation, low-income student and a former foster youth. It's just funny and then the next word is Mackenzie.
Yeah, when you hear those words, you expect to hear Aladdin.
Yeah. It'd be funny if we said we only had one other student like this that came from that area named Baker. So Mackenzie is passionate about championing. Oh God, I hate when my stroke gets in the way. Championing young people and dedicating her life to public service. Then an anonymous person came forward, and you know who that was. Just probably someone from her high school going like, what? As it turns out, and I just want to say, she's from a suburb of St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Which is also where one of my favorite, avatar creators in the real world comes from. My favorite is Jessica La Bomballera. If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, she's also from a suburb of St.Louis. And when I mean suburb of St. Louis, it's not Ferguson. Although she probably told people it was Ferguson. Mm-hmm. She comes from more of a, affluent area of St. Louis. A girl named Mackenzie is not going to be coming straight out of Ferguson.
No, she's not.
No.
But yet she probably told
Michaela might be coming out of Ferguson.
Yes.
Michaela. Yeah. Probably one of the greatest sketches of all time was the A.A. Ron.
Key and Peele?
Key and Peele. That's one of the funniest sketches. A.A. Ron. So, yeah, how could you make Mackenzie's name black if you were to Mac-Enzie?
MC.
MC.
MK.
Maganzi.
Enzie.
Maganzi.
Just shorten it. Chop it up.
Mac.
Yeah.
Mac-Z.
Yeah.
So it turns out that Mackenzie is from, where's she from? She's from, let's just say she's from Beverly Hills of St. Louis. And as it turned out, her mom is a radiologist and her dad is, he's described in the article as middle upper class. But I think they're downplaying a little bit because when you find out how much Mackenzie's school cost, Mackenzie went to a private school that cost $30,000 a year. So, like I said, foster care has really improved.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a great job. I mean, the government's really pumping a lot of money into foster care. It was called, her school was called Whitfield. I mean, that's another thing. You know those schools, if they got a field in it, you know, Fieldston.
Yep.
Fieldtown, Whitfield. Yeah, there's a pedigree there. That is what you call a pedigree school. So it came out, after the 2014, Mackenzie is deeply loved by her mom and her family. Our greatest desire is that Mackenzie chooses to live a happy, honest, productive life using her extraordinary gifts for the highest good. Blah, 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 blah. This was from Fierston's lawyer? Who's that? Anyway.
So basically, they don't detail that her father was in her life, but it says that her mother was a radiologist, a divorcee. She grew up in a cul-de-sac in St. Louis, Missouri, and there was a case that her mother physically abused her, pushed her down some steps.
Oh.
But the mother said that Mackenzie just fell in an attempt to remove gum from Mackenzie's hair.
Ooh, well, that's
Yeah.
sounds like she might have been pushed.
Yeah, she might have been. Yeah, she might
Might
have
have thrown her
pushed.
down the stairs. I was trying to remove gum from her hair right at the top of the stairs.
So because of that background, people don't doubt that she may have been in foster care because she does have a history of a little bit of a tension with the mother.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Or the mother could have been like, "Let me help you out here. Let's make one story that sounds so you're not like completely a laughingstock," which is what a good foster mother would do. That's what a good foster mother would do.
You got to do that.
That sounds probably a little more likely. I'd love to hear from another couple of her classmates, just how bad it was for Mackenzie at that $30,000 a year school. Anyway, if it's your kid, you got the right once in a while to push them down the stairs if they got gum in their hair. You know, I mean, if you got gum in your hair, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get pushed down the stairs. I just find that weird that the mother would admit that. The mother would go, "Oh, that one that Mackenzie's, she had gum in her hair." I feel like she might come up with a better story. It
didn't work because she was arrested and charged with 2 counts of felony child abuse or neglect and 1 count of misdemeanor assault in 2014.
Oh,
she was arrested. Wow.
so she was arrested.
Yeah.
So
she
we
may have
stand
been-
corrected.
She may have been in and out of the foster homes, but not to the lengths of that she claims.
Oh, so was she actually in foster care?
I believe she was. Yeah, she spent a year in official foster care.
Oh,
But she just did a year. She
did 1 year. She did 1 year
She got a
bid.
10-day contract basically.
you
from
got
foster
10-day
care.
contact.
But the way she's describing it, it seems like she was precious.
They were handing out 10 days.
Yeah, just handing out 10 days, son.
Right. Well, the low income, she exaggerated her story. Though.
Yeah,
she exaggerated. her story.
There's bits of truth, but she exaggerated. She may not be eligible for Oxford, but a Hollywood studio will pick her up.
Definitely eligible for a Hollywood studio.
Yes.
So she exaggerated. Allegedly, this is everything I'm talking is alleged all the way around here. We're just having fun with this story. It's news. I'm just reading the news article. That's all I'm doing. I didn't create the story. I'm commenting on it for laughs. Okay, YouTube. So this is an interesting story. So Penn and the Road Trust received credible information that called into question statements Ms. Fierson made. They conducted an investigation, considered evidence and arguments. I mean, this is over just the Rhodes Scholar. They had to go to court over this.
Yeah. They said in court that she didn't come from a hard background because her grandfather had graduated college.
Right. If first generation means the first in one's family to attend college, the widely used common sense, Fierson's answer would be plainly false. So she lied about stuff. All right, well, we get the story. She lied about stuff. Her mom pushed her downstairs. She spent a little time in foster home, allegedly. Fact is, she lied. So who do you blame? What are we doing? Is this the pressure? Because, these institutions now, they want to give off the impression that they're not fostering the same old oh, you're privileged, we're letting people in. They want these stories. They want it for their own self-interest. They want, Penn wants to be able to say, Oxford wants to be able to say, look at the good that we're doing in the world. We're not just reinforcing this same old hierarchy. We're letting people, come from upward mobility into our institutions. It's not just a pedigree admission. Their mother, their grandmother went there. Everyone's doing this thing. In theory, this sounds good, right? In theory, all these things sound good. Just like communism in theory sounds good. Or believing that people are good sounds good. Then you live a couple years and you go, oh, people are complicated. I wouldn't say good. I would say self-interested more than anything. Occasionally you'll find some good, but there's also a lot of bad. So is it the institutions that are doing this? Is it the social pressure? Or do you just blame this girl? Because if she lied about this, perhaps she lied about getting pushed down the stairs, perhaps allegedly?
Perhaps, yes.
Perhaps allegedly. Allegedly. I'm just saying people who lie, I mean, when does the lie start? Who do we trust here? Allegedly.
I mean, she really went through the foster system, so I think it's the pressure of the school, because the pressure of the school makes you feel like you're not enough, even though you may be, because she already has the perspective.
Now, did she have a fight with her mom because her mom didn't let her go to the movies or something? Was it
probably,
like a real kind of...
Probably. I mean, she probably planted the gum as a form of retaliation. It's like, Mom, you won't let me go to the movies? Well, I'm going to walk outside and make people think that you're not a real mother because you let your child have gum in your hair.
Right.
So I'm going to embarrass you as a mother. And she said, I'm not having that.
Right.
Take your ass down these steps.
Right.
So that's what happened. But she has to look into herself. She already has a lot of perspective. She was born doing horseback riding. But also, she probably slept next to a black girl named Janae in a foster home. So not a lot of people have that perspective in life.
I would overlook the lie for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really, she's really, that runs the gamut of experience.
Yes.
Horseback riding, and then
as someone who doesn't have parents in their life,
yeah.
Usually when you ride horseback and you don't have parents, it's because you grew up in the wild, wild west and you're going to kill your parents' killers.
Yes. Do you think she knows how to braid hair though?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe she got a quick lesson. Maybe box braids. I'm not sure about French braids. Those take a long time to learn, but definitely box braids.
Yeah. If she can do box braids, I'll look the other way and give her a pass and say, okay, she really did spend some time in foster care. Interesting story. I mean, look, there are people who make things up. There are people who can be manipulative. A lot of times those people are born that way. And there's just like, what can you do? I don't think this is Mackenzie YouTube. I don't think so at all. I think Mackenzie is an absolute paragon of truth, honor, and she's only in this for the greater good. She wanted to go to Oxford. She made this lie only so she could help others. I think because that's how people usually are. People usually care so much about other people that they'll lie in order to get into a position to help other people. That's my experience. Usually people lie for good causes, not for their own gain.
Yeah.
Not for their own gain. And some people, haters will say I'm being sarcastic. But I am being literal. I have found that liars are the most trustworthy people.
Yeah.
Why not? I could say that, and there's people watching this probably going like, yeah, absolutely. She did what she had to do. She was going to Oxford because, Oxford is the only way to become a social worker and help people. Because I think she wanted to become a social worker, right?
Yeah.
So it's like she's got to go to Oxford to do that. She couldn't just go to some school in Philly, and then just become the greatest social worker ever. She wanted to go to Oxford. So either way, she's a smart girl. Hats off to her. I think that should be looked at as a positive thing. This girl has great real world skills. Okay, she's obviously read the 40 Laws of Power many, many times. Telling the truth gets you nowhere. Okay, lying is the way you move up. Manipulation. Create distance between the person you create and who you are. Okay, Madonna, that shit. Do you think Madonna's really? That's not even her real name. Okay, I don't even think she enjoys wearing those outfits. Okay, she doesn't even have her own face anymore. Create who you want to be. This girl created who she wanted to be. This is the era we live in, I think, now. You can create who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You're given a government. This is my government given name.
Yep.
Don't call me that. Call me the Robo Cheese from now on. I'm Robo Cheese Pappas. Okay? And that's J Harvin 15. And right there is fucking, right there we got Punchy Fingers. Punchy Fingers Scaturo. We call you Jesse Two Fingers.
Two fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be funny, like, if you taught my daughter how to type.
She's probably better than me.
Yeah, well, she would start, like, it would be like another baby teaching my baby how to type.
Yeah.
Like, another baby would go, like, do this, and then you'd come in and be like, exactly, do this.
And then after 5 minutes, to be like, whoa, slow down, kid.
Yeah,
right.
slow down, you're going too fast. So shout out to Mackenzie, man. She's had a tough time. But you got to admit, foster care has really improved. It's really improved.
Got some great prospects.
They got some great prospects right now, and in a lot of ways, she broke barriers.
She's
a
got
lot
it
of ways,
all.
she's the Jackie Robinson of foster care.
Yes.
Being the first Mackenzie,
She's got it all.
that's like
son.
having a Carlton. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like having a Carlton in foster care. There's just certain names you don't hear about in foster care.
You're not going to get a Dorian in foster care.
You're not going to get a Dorian. Okay. So shout out to Mackenzie. You're doing good. You ride that pony all the way to Rhodes Scholarship. Did she get it taken away? We don't know. Is she still at Oxford? Who knows? We'll follow the story.
Yeah.
We'll find out how Michaela does. We'll check back in on her
Hopefully.
in 38 years when she's pitching a fake tech company. After many mail exchanges with Elizabeth, what was her name?
Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes. I'm getting a lot of Elizabeth Holmes vibes here. That's all I'm saying. Allegedly, I'm getting some Elizabeth Holmes vibes. I'm just saying allegedly.
She's a protege.
Allegedly, or whatever. So shout out to her. Guys, you know the deal. If you can't get enough Yanni, and I know none of you can, but it's also a little different Yanni. It's sports Yanni. If you're a sports fan, you're into sports, you're into betting, you want to throw a little juice on games, or you just want to hear about sports, or if you just think Olivia's a piece, because let's be honest, she's a piece. And if you think I'm a piece, because when I cut my hair and trim my eyebrows, I clean up nice. Go over and watch my other show, my other podcast. It's completely free, as you know, over on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or wherever you listen. It's only listenable. So go listen to Unleashed, my show with Olivia Harlan Decker, the great OHD. She's a great sports journalist from a long line, a long sports pedigree. Just a very, her pops is, Kevin Harlan, my favorite play-by-play announcer, and her grandpops used to own the Packers. The girl was not in foster care. She's the best. We have an absolute great time. We were just nominated by some prestigious award for best sports podcast. We just started, so it's really nice to be getting that recognition. So we have a blast. She's all over the world. Her husband's a professional basketball player, so sometimes she records from Turkey. Sometimes wherever we are, we're going to the Super Bowl together. We're recording from there. We have great guests on. We just had Jonathan Coachman from the WWE and ESPN on today. We had Mina Kimes before from ESPN. She's an ESPN analyst. We've had Deron Williams. We have basketball players. Paul Verzi, the great Paul Verzi was on there. I wonder how he got on there. We've had, Buster Douglas. We've had boxers. We've had athletes. We've had football players. We had Suggs from Baltimore, Hall of Fame football players. The list goes on of who we have on. Amazing guests, and we have fun on there. And we also give you betting advice with Peter Andrew, our betting expert over at BetMGM. So you have to listen to Unleashed every Thursday. New episodes drop every Thursday, so go subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you want, and start listening to Unleashed with Olivia Harlan Decker and Yannis Pappas. We ain't your typical sports tandem. The best part about the internet is it has made everything accessible to everybody. There's no excuses anymore. You want to invest, you want to work on your portfolio, you want to start thinking about your savings, your future, etc. You can do that now. You can do that. You don't need to have a connection at the bank. All you need is a phone, baby, and all you need is WealthFront. All you need to do is download WealthFront or go to WealthFront.com. Just get into WealthFront. I just started using it, and I absolutely love it. I hate talking to people. I hate having brokers. I get intimidated by the whole process. I love a what do they call a frame template, a template that does it all for you and explains it to you and makes it so easy with the click of a button. Okay, it's the new year right now, so this is a great time to finally start things like taking care of your financial future, my friends. All right, WealthFront.com is the way to go. It's an investment app if you haven't figured it out, and a lot of investment apps obviously make it easy to do the trading, but just because it's easy, it doesn't mean they know what they're doing, or you know what you're doing. WealthFront makes it easy to invest and easy to grow your savings with a diversified portfolio that balances your other riskier bets. You always got to be diversified when you invest. All right, you got to invest. That's what the capitalist system is about, baby. Let your money make money. So now you can do that. Anyone can do that. You can start investing in no time with WealthFront's classic portfolio. Or making your own thing with things that you care about. Socially responsible funds, technology, crypto trusts, or hundreds of other investments. You just check it out. It was designed by financial experts to help you turn your good ideas into great investments, my friends, without the hassle of doing everything by yourself. They help you. So you don't want to spend hundreds of hours trying to lower your tax bill? They help you do that too. Not sure how to rebalance your portfolio or what even rebalancing is? Well, guess what? They do it for you automatically. That's why it's trusted with over $28 billion in assets, and nearly 500,000 people have built their wealth with WealthFront. So they also got 4.9 out of 5 stars on the Apple App Store, so you know they're doing a good job. Go to WealthFront.com fumes right now to start building your wealth and get your first $5,000 managed for free for life. Go to WealthFront.com/fumes and start building your wealth today. Get invested, my friends. Do it with WealthFront. They're amazing. I love it. Now, Pope Francis, the kid's just making news every week. Mm-hmm. He's really just like dropping. It's almost like he's dropping mixtapes or he's making wrestling promos. Every week he's got smoke with something. The kid's just got smoke. This kid, he spends more time in front of the camera than he does in the basement with the children. Allegedly. So Pope Francis, again, like I said in the outro, this is like his third harangue where he's come out. And now he's attacking cancel culture. I mean, what is he, a fucking comedian? I mean, what? Can anyone stay in their goddamn lane anymore? I mean, you're Pope, dude. Okay, you're supposed to get in your Pope mobile of bulletproof glass because you have so much faith in God. And you're supposed to go have people in the third world just put their hands up and try to touch your Pope mobile while you do this and wave your humble little hand in your gold $400,000 hat and tell people that they're going to heaven. You're not supposed to be commenting on cancel culture like you're on the Camilla network. I mean, what are we doing here? So Pope Francis has come out against diversity hires, apparently. He took aim at cancel culture. He's 85 years old. I mean, how boomer is this, dude? That'd be funny if just someone in the audience was just like, boomer! Boomer! Without giving specific examples, he attacked, quote-unquote, agendas increasingly dictated by a mindset that rejects the natural foundations of humanity and the cultural roots that constitute the identity of many people. I consider this a form of ideological colonization, and that leaves no room for freedom of expression and is now taking the form of the cancel culture. He probably has an Italian accent or something. Where's he from? Romania? I don't know. Invading many circles and public institutions. So apparently Pope Francis listens to the LongDays podcast. It's ironic coming from a Catholic institution because they have a nice history of cancel culture.
Oh yeah, they're the originals.
They're the originals. They're the original. They used to have cancel culture's light compared to excommunication or execution. So I will give him this. He is an authority on the issue. The Catholic Church is an authority on the issue. They also are very good at canceling out the innocence of children. Mm-hmm. They do a good job of canceling that. No, that I can say with that's been detailed. I don't even need to say allegedly there. Jesse just gets nervous because he knows what's coming, dog. When you ride with the Robo Cheese, expect that the train's going to go off the track a few times. Welcome to the Fediverse. We flirt with demonetization on a regular basis, but why would that upset you at home? Why do you care? Okay? I'm doing this. I'm flogging myself for you. I'm hurting my own bank account for your own amusement. Where else could you get this recklessness from the delicious maniac you see before you, who happens to clean up very nicely when I get my eyebrows threaded and my hair cut by my mother-in-law by the fire? So, mother-in-law's done with COVID and she's back on duty, making meatballs and cutting my hair. So that's what it is. That's what us stars do. We have our mother-in-laws cut our hair. John Stamos probably goes to like 16 people.
Oh, yeah.
That when he sits down, it's like the Marquis de Sade. He just sits down and like 14 people just come, start powdering him up. You know what I mean? Injecting him with, I'm not going to say the word, injecting him with something that looks like Bloody Mary mix. That keeps you young.
He's got a glam squad.
He's got a glam squad. Me, I was like, can you cut my hair? And she was like, yeah. And I went and sat on an ottoman by the fireplace. And my mother-in-law cut my hair for free. So, times have changed. Times have changed. Now, where do you go to get, you got good hair. Where do you go to get your hair cut?
Prestige Barbershop.
In Long Island?
Yeah, right there on Main Street in Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my Dominicans.
Shout out to the Dominicans. The Dominicans own that joint?
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a good job.
Yeah, they do a good job.
That's a good hairstyle for you, too.
Thank you.
Did you ever used to rock it like lower? You should keep it like that.
Lower when I was like fatter.
Yeah.
But like I grew it out because, came into my own.
You came into your own as a man, as a 24-year-old man, as old as Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mackenzie. Do you think Mackenzie's dated a black guy?
Probably.
Yeah. Do you think that's why her mother put gum in her hair?
Probably.
Probably.
She probably got caught shooting craps with Michael Brown.
Yeah.
His brother said, I'm not going to stand for this.
on the border of Ferguson and whatever other side of the tracks Mackenzie was from. Yeah. Because someone with the name Mackenzie who has a mother, I would assume anyone who has the name Mackenzie's mother would not be happy about them dating Michael Brown.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so I would say maybe she put a little gum in her hair and then kicked her down the stairs. Anyway, so Pope Francis, he's just, this is ironic. They canceled Galileo, threw him into, what was it? What do you call that? Exile, where he died, right? And all Galileo said was that the sun revolved around the earth. Imagine you came up in a time. People think they have it hard now, right? Because you can't say certain things, You can't say certain things. It ain't so bad. Imagine you grew up at a time where they would essentially kill you, take away your freedom if you suggested that the earth did not revolve, the sun did not revolve around the earth. That it wasn't, that's wild, dude. It also shows you like the danger of being like telling the truth in different eras. It's always like people don't like the truth. No. I don't like the truth. The truth is like it's a buzzkill. It's not lit. It's a little boomer.
People want confirmation, not information.
Yeah, I mean the truth is very boomer, dog. That's the thing. That's where I get with the kids. Like, when someone's like, "Hey, I'm this. Call me this." Call me them, and I'm like, "But I only see one of yous," and I'm going like, "Wait, I'm just being a boomer, dog." Just say hello, guys, when you see them, If I see one person, they say, call me them, I'm like, what's up, guys? Just say what's up, guys. It's funner. Lies are funner, generally. When I look back at the girls that I dated and stuff like that, the ones that were liars, those are the ones, I got to look at the live chat and see who's commenting. Those were always fun ones. Not necessarily the most healthy, but, a Snickers bar ain't that healthy either. But it tastes damn good.
Yes, it does.
And you can't go your whole life without a Snickers bar. You can't eat cauliflower your whole life. I'm sorry. If you're just spending your whole life eating fucking beetroot extract, Jared, you got to get yourself a fucking Snickers bar once in a while.
Yeah, you got to have some fun.
Yeah, you got to have some fun. So, I'll be looking forward to Pope Francis's podcast coming out soon.
On Gas Digital?
On Gas Digital, about how cancel culture is really ruining the vibe. I mean, can you imagine going to see a sermon by the Pope and he's talking about cancel culture? if he starts bringing up Shane Gillis. He starts going, one thing that really I thought was wrong was that Shane Gillis should have been on SNL. And you're like, Pope, dog, everyone here is eating their shoes.
He see a sermon from the Pope and he has to take a break so HelloFresh could advertise.
Yeah. It's like, yo, dog, we're eating our shoes here. Instead of talking about cancel culture, can you just sell a tenth of the Catholic Church's property in Washington, D.C.? The Catholic Church is the second biggest landowner in Washington, D.C., the most powerful city in the world still for a couple more years. A lot of people don't know that. First biggest owner is obviously the federal government. The second biggest landowner in Washington, D.C. is the Catholic Church. So, they take all those donations, those tax-free donations, and they just redistribute it to the poor. If by poor you mean real estate agents and property owners that they bought it from, to continue to make what you call a tax-free profit. Because if you're the second biggest landowner in D.C., I don't see that many churches in D.C. I don't think there's that many parishers. I'm sure a few of those are what you call Airbnb buildings. How funny would that be if you stayed in an Airbnb that's owned by the Catholic Church? I'm sure we all have, People who make great fortunes really do. There is a little bit of like crookedness behind it. You know what I mean? And the Catholic Church is no exception. Good guys do finish last in this world. I don't want to give anyone any hope. The 40 Laurels of Power is a great book because it teaches you how to be an absolute dirtbag, which is what you have to be
to get to the top.
To get to the top, Nobody just goes, I want to give this guy a promotion. He's such a good guy. Has anyone ever heard that? Like, he's just a great and he thinks about others all the time, Nobody gets nominated. Nobody gets nominated by their peers for a promotion. No, it's a dog-eat-dog fight to the top where people are stealing each other's staplers and trying to destroy each other in the eyes of their boss in order to get the advantage. That's just the real world. It's the jungle out there, kids. Don't get any false hopes. So this is a good one. Trump and Desantis, as we mentioned, DeSantis. You can't not say DeSantis like a New Yorker. I can't say. I guess in Florida they'd say Desantis, but when you're from New York, you go DeSantis.
Yeah.
DeSantis.
It sounds like a nickname for the Department of Sanitation.
Yeah, I'm going to DeSantis to get my passport.
Yeah.
I'm going down to DeSantis.
Is that Greek? He's Greek?
No, DeSantis sound. I think is he Italian or Cuban? I assume he's Cuban.
Oh, Cuban. That's right.
Is he Cuban?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Cubans are sneaky because they're like Hispanic, but you're like. You're hiding in a white man's body.
Yeah, Cubans are really sneaky.
Yeah, they're like white Hispanics. A lot of them. So yeah, DeSantis, because that's a white man. But is he Cuban?
I'm looking now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, these kids don't play around with the Democratic Party. You want to know what a modern Romeo and Juliet story would be in Florida? It would be bringing home a Democrat to your grandparents. They'd be like, get this Obama-loving Democrat out of my house right now. And then it would be a forbidden love story and people get killed. Yeah.
Both of them drink poison, but the poison's just bath salts.
It's just bath salts in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Italian?
He's Italian, huh? DeSantis. Sounds Italian. Yeah.
Italian from Jacksonville. You basically might as well be Cuban at that point.
He's really, well, as long as he's not from Tallahassee, brother. Let me tell you something. Me and Ronnie DeSantis go way back. He used to come on down to the Pink Lagoon Flamingo. For a while, he was boning. He was boning Cynthia Mary a long time, was one of my first bartenders where I started my establishment. She's kind of like the Babe Ruth of bartenders from the Pink Lagoon Crockpit Flamingo. That was before I knew I needed to up my standard for the bodies I had behind the bar. Cynthia Mary had 4 tits. Two where they were supposed to go, and 2 that would hang over her pants past her belly button, brother. I'm talking about she had a gut that looked like boobies, brother. She looked like a character in a Star Wars movie that would fuck Jabba the Hutt That's who she was. But let me tell you, this girl could shoot a gullet shooter better than anybody. Pour it right down your gullet like none other. Jaeger shots, midgets against the wall. She was so powerful, she'd throw the midget herself, brother. I missed her death. She died early of a fentanyl overdose. Rest in peace. We buried her ashes behind a bar, behind a wood wall. And now she sits next to a picture of Donald Trump right beside the cash register. And we've upped our game, and now we got Mariana from Miami behind the bar, a hot little Venezuelan number who'll give you a cachapa shot in exchange for a green card, brother. You can impregnate her for all she cares. She just wants to stay in Estados Unidos, brother, all the way from Miami, Venezuelan Mariana, looking for some good old homebred sperm to get her into the old Estados Unidos. Come on down to Undocumented Night at the Pink Lagoon Crockpit Flamingo, where we introduce otherwise undeserving men from Florida to meet the hottest undocumented women you can find who just want to be in the country, brother. It's a $25 cover, and we look the other way, brother. Hey, she's off the grid. Do what you want, brother. We ain't the FBI. Come on down, and don't forget about COVID Night, where everyone in the establishment does have COVID. All right? Just like a herpes website where you date people and you want to be comfortable, so you date people who also have herpes, so you got to deal with no shame. Come on down to the Super Spreader, Super Soaker Night, where it's an absolute bubble. What do they call it? A foam party. It's a COVID foam party, brother. We throw the COVID on the floor. We throw the foam on the floor, and everybody's got COVID, brother. Swap that spit. You can't catch what you already have. Nobody gets COVID twice, brother. Come on down to Omicron Wednesdays at the Pink Lagoon Crockpit Flamingo. I'm the proprietor of this Florida establishment. My name's Derek. That character requires a part of the throat that usually only smoking Newports could access. Anyhow, I'd love to go to that bar. Sounds like America with a wood wall. So Desantis and he's like the protege of this guy. Mm-hmm. We'd call him like his mentor, you know? It's like Donald Trump's like Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan of fucking, and Desantis is like the Kobe Bryant, right? They're cut from the same cloth. Brash, fighting back, you know, a little dodgy, couple of dodgy characters, right? And so here, Donald Trump, you would think these two would be in lockstep with one another. There's also a lot of rumors that they may team up for their GOP, and that's if Donald Trump doesn't go to jail for like not checking his phone during the coup or whatever's going on. But I'm sorry, and I also got to apologize to some of the fans who watch alleged coup, party. Isn't it funny? What happened on that day depends on who you talk to. If you talk to Republicans about January 6th, which, by the way, I think is a holiday in some places. I think you go to certain areas in America and January 6th like a holiday where they just go storm a neighbor's house who they hate, you know?
They give free biscuits at the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, you go to the Cracker Barrel, it's like, Happy January 6th, and they just storm into each other and shoot each other or whatever. Or they bring zip ties and they redo it like Civil War reenactors. But if you talk to Republicans about January 6th, you ever notice they downplay it? They always go like, well, it was a party. What, you never been to a party that gets a little out of hand? Parties get out of hand.
They call it an unguided tour.
Yeah, no, it was a party. You never been to a little party, had a couple too many Trulies? That's never happened to you. You drop a couple of too many Trulies. Next thing you know, you're searching for Nancy Pelosi to tie her up with zip ties. It happens to the best of them. It was a party. Zach Brown Band was supposed to be there. They didn't show up. So people got a little bent out of shape. Big deal. Big deal. It was a party gone wrong. And then you talk to Democrats, and they're like, it was the Holocaust! It was World War II! It was Pearl Harbor, COVID, 9/11, and Hitler all in one! It was like watching a live abortion on television!
Which Kamala did say. She compared it to all those things.
She did. President Kamala. Who Biden called her again President Kamala. Now, back to this DeSantis story. Okay. Donald Trump and Desantis will probably. DeSantis has said that he's not going to run. I think he's kind of been cagey about it. But a lot of people are like pushing it forward, going, DeSantis, you're the guy. You stood up to Fauci. You're standing up to fucking Grandpa Biden. You're the guy. You're keeping Florida open, baby. You got nice hair. Kids got suave, nice hair. Okay? You beat a guy for governor. One of my favorite stories. I think we talked about it a long time ago in the podcast. The guy that he beat. Very funny story. Do you remember the guy he beat? He was a black guy. His name was he ended up, after he lost very narrowly to DeSantis, and I digress, but it's worth it. He got caught in a hotel room with hardcore drugs and a gay male prostitute. He's married with kids.
Andrew Gillum?
Andrew Gillum, yeah. Andrew Gillum. He was called like the biggest rising star in the Democratic Party. And then there was this article, I think it was in Vanity Fair, about how he was a hero for and his wife was like a hero for accepting his behavior. I was like, man, they will spin anything into a good story if it has something that Dave Chappelle would make a comedy special about as a theme. Allegedly. So is this the article? Yeah, how he survived the night of scandal. The rising Democratic star was found at a Miami Beach hotel. Now, this is the type of shit I want to hear from my politicians. Mm-hmm. Okay? Especially if you're from Florida, dog. If you don't end up in a hotel room with drugs and a gay prostitute, then how are you going to run Florida? What is going to give you the experience base to connect to those voters down there if you don't do drugs and you don't cheat on your wife with men? Mm-hmm. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. So he was caught passed out in a hotel room with I'm sorry. Did I say prostitute? That's a pejorative. An empowered male sex worker.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I apologize. To keep their marriage together, this is the article. You found the article. Thank you. This was it. To keep his marriage together, he and his wife, RJ, had to embrace a new dynamic of radical honesty in their relationship. Now, I got a lot to say about this fucking article, okay? Now, these are the people who constantly talk about a patriarchy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? So now she has to be forced to accept radical honesty. You know what wasn't radically honest? Cheating on her in a hotel room with a male sex worker while they did drugs. Mm-hmm. So now she had to learn to operate in radical. What did she have to be honest about? What do you mean they had to operate? No, he did.
Yeah.
He had to, and he can't. He already fucking lied.
Radically honest is a really weird way to put it. I just found out my husband's gay.
That's a really weird way to find out. Not only is your husband gay, he's cheating on you and he's passing out doing drugs. It's a triple whammy.
Yeah.
It's a triple whammy. I mean, the kid was running for fucking governor. He wasn't performing at Coachella.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was running for governor. And I just love the way they phrase that as like he's still a hero. Like they still, you know what I mean? It's like if any other, like, just to play devil's advocate, if like a Republican, family values guy, right?
Like Elliot Spitzer, right?
Or like, Elliot Spitzer's a Democrat, right? Yeah, like Elliot, like Eric, but they
the same situation he was going through.
Same situation he was going through. They fried him,
mm-hmm.
right? Well, yeah, and you just contradicted my point, so I can't even make that point because they did fry him. No, but they fried him. The Republicans fried him.
Gillum's black.
Gillum's black. Is that why they're giving him? They're giving him a pass.
You got to hold him up.
You got to hold him up.
You got to hold him up, son.
You got to hold him up,
especially in the South.
Okay. Well, that's what's happening here because I wasn't even thinking about it. They did fry Elliot Spitzer. They did also fly Carlos Danger. But what Carlos Danger was doing was like he was talking like a 16-year-old online, right? Yeah. I just love how she's overlooked here. It's like what it's just like they had like their marriage was repaired. They focus on the fact that like, oh my God, it must have been so hard for him to be gay and like he's some sort of victim here when like she's the victim. He was doing this behind her back. So like what saved him is radical honesty. It's like, what are you talking about?
Jared's right too. This would never. Elliot Spitzer would never be in an article like this.
No.
And this makes me a little weird because it makes me question what skeletons does she have in the closet?
That could be where she's like, all right, let's just roll with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or she just goes, now I got a free pass to fuck our private chef who I've always wanted to fuck. Yeah, at this point, they're like, they have kids. They may be like, let's just clean this up in the press. You can continue to bang Eduardo in hotel rooms. And I'm taking Sean down. They were willing to discuss it. They worked it through, whatever. I sometimes feel being married to an elected official, public person that has the stories about him, he may be able to control the narrative a little bit, but typically my story is always told for me, J. Ray explained. She had his back. She Hillary Clinton'd it. She Hillary Clinton'd it. She took a bullet for a man, which means one thing. This is a loveless relationship.
Yep.
That's what I find out about this. This is a good old political marriage right here. Because whenever you do this, whenever you just, because a real woman would just be gone.
Be out.
Yeah, a real woman just like it's over.
You're doing it for the optics.
Yeah, so they're just keeping the optics going. I mean, because that's pretty bad. You're caught passed out high with a male sex worker cheating on your wife. And yeah, there's this positive article. When have we ever seen a positive article like this about a politician who was caught like this? This may be this is like, this is a positive article.
It's a positive article.
It's a positive article.
Rudy Giuliani stuck his shirt into his pants for a movie and people fried him for that.
Yes. I mean, but Gilliam just kind of, he's a hero for a certain community. Yeah. Now my question is this. You said it's because he's black, but do you think it could be because he's bisexual or gay? That could supersede.
That could be
like
if
Elliot Spitzer was caught with a guy. Could there been like a radical honesty? Could there be a radical honesty article about how, hey, this is great? Must have been so hard for him to hold that.
Yeah.
Even though in 2021 nobody gives a flying fuck, and we're just gonna overlook the fact that no matter what the sex is, you're still fucking cheating, and it's a douchebag move, especially when you're pretending to be clean cut. You're not coming across like you're the lead singer of Aerosmith. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, it's not like he came out being like, hey, I'm Steven Tyler. I likes to get lit. He's like, I'm Andrew Gilliam. I'm running for governor. This is my wife. These are my kids. And then after the rally was over, he was like, suck that stick. And the guy was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He looked down. He just saw hair on the forearms. So do you think that could have played a role in it?
Yeah, radical honesty.
Yeah, allegedly. We're not saying that it was spun that way because that's a powerful agenda right now or a great talking point. We're just saying
it could be radical honesty because he was gay, or because the prominence that Republicans have in Florida, Democrats need to balance that out, so they do anything to support their savior.
This is a liberal outlet, right? What's this, Vanity Fair?
GQ.
GQ.
Yeah. So you always got to put Andrew Gillum at the top, even though he's probably a bottom.
Right. Now they don't have any other politicians they could uplift. And now, just for fun, I know this is an old story. We should have actually done this on the Patreon because that's what we're doing on those episodes.
We can still do it.
Yeah, patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. Me and Jared now, we have a show with different segments. One of those segments is we find a story that would have made lit podcast content if podcasts were around during the story. So we basically are turning back the clock and turning stuff that should be podcast content, that's worthy of podcast content, into amongst other things. So join patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. You have to. Pretty soon I may put this whole podcast on Patreon and just throw teasers up on YouTube just so I can still do this level of comedy, which we all enjoy. Okay, we all enjoy. Okay, and I'm just gonna say it's top notch. I don't want to toot my own fucking horn, but it's top fucking notch. Anyway, what I want to do real quick, and then we'll get back to Trump and DeSantis. Can we just find a right-wing outlet coverage of the story? Maybe Fox News, Gillum, and while you search for it, me and Jared will discuss all of last week.
Yeah, check back in 20 minutes.
We'll check back in 20 minutes. Well, Jesse's fingers go to work.
What's his name again?
Reggie Gillum.
Yeah. Were you aware of the story? Had you heard about it?
The
About that
Andrew
he was
Gillum?
caught in hotel?
No, I didn't know about that.
Fun stuff, right? It's a fun story.
Right wing is probably just gonna like let everything fly. It's probably gonna be a lot of misinformation. They're probably,
Yeah,
the headline's probably gonna be like Idris Elba comes out as gay or something
you know
like
what
that.
it is? Whenever you put right wing in, a lot of outlets are going to come up like with the word America or even like a flag.com. It's just America. It's you. The right wing outlets are always like federalpapers.com or USA.org or AmericanEagle.net. There's got to be something. Maybe you should just went Fox News, Andrew Gillum, gay prostitute, something like that. I just want to see how they covered it. Just to show, this could be a perfect example of the dichotomy in our media and how it's not about the story, it's about the points you can win by the way you tell the story.
Everything's about how it's framed.
Right.
The picture doesn't matter.
Framing. That's really, we're living in the era now where everything is really fictionalized. Everything is fictionalized. Like I said before, we're living in one big Budweiser commercial. It really is just a Budweiser commercial, man. They're making everything sound real good for their agenda. When Budweiser, as we know, as soon as it approaches room temperature, tastes like you're drinking your buddy's piss. I'm sorry. If you guys were to sponsor the show, I'll change that tune real quick. But until then, Budweiser and Corona taste like piss if they're not cold. Man uses hammer to attack statue of the front of BBC Broadcasting. That's a very 2021 story. Just like, a statue was attacked. Like, what's the statue? I was like, it was a statue of fucking John Stockton and Karl Malone. You're going like, somebody just saw a statue and like, fuck it, it's a statue, attack it. So anyway, while you Google it, if there is anything like that that we can find, I'll just continue with that story. So Trump and Desantis, shots fired, I'll say. This is a shots fired story where Donald Trump brings up the booster, and he's obviously referencing a media appearance by Ron DeSantis, where Ron DeSantis eschewed, if you don't know that word, gets murdered. He eschewed the topic of whether he had received the booster. He did a what happened was. He did a what happened was. And we covered that on the show a couple episodes ago, where he just like, I explained it as like when you're on your GPS and you're about to get on the tunnel and you see that the tunnel's backed up and you just hook a right and try to take the bridge. That's what DeSantis did. So DeSantis was asked about the booster, and to paraphrase, he said, I took the normal shots. Anyway, these Democrats, and then he just changed, like, Democrats. He was like, don't put me in an uncomfortable position with my base, okay? I'm trying to pander here. Don't slip me up with what I do and why, okay? The point is, nobody should be forced. Democrats are Nazis. Hillary Clinton needs to be locked up. Good night, my name's Ron DeSantis, right? That's basically what he did in a nutshell. So, and this is the thing, Trump is causing like a little bit of a schism here. When this is the funny thing about extremists, is inevitably they always turn on each other. It's like the mafia, because you can never be extreme enough, whether you're on the right or the left. I would define Trump as an extremist. I'm sorry to those people out there. I'm sorry. He's a little extreme in his behavior and his views sometimes, and his delivery. And I would characterize Candace Owens as a little extreme. Candace Owens. So Candace Owens interviewed him, and he bigged up the vaccine. And Candace Owens, who like idolizes him, didn't know what to do. So she was like humming what had happened was. And then later she gave like an apology video. She did a Patton Oswalt where she goes, he's old, he doesn't read alternative news. She basically did the same thing. Like, he's learning. It was exactly the same thing as the Patton Oswalt letter. He's learning. Trump doesn't know. He's 77 or 8 years old. He doesn't read QAnon. He doesn't read all these truthful sites, whatever. She was trying to rationalize why he said you should get vaccinated. Trump doesn't, in typical Trump fashion, he don't give a FUQ about anything. But I think this is also strategic, because I know he's in big trouble with January 6th. Big trouble. He's in big trouble legally with a lot of stuff going on right now. He could go away it could be bad for him right now. It's not big news because it's like pending, but they got a lot of evidence of malfeasance, some organization, and that he was in part behind this, or the people working for him were part. It's bad news. So I think in part he may be strategically trying to kind of pander to the middle and left a little bit, because he's always right when it's convenient left. He's been that way his whole life. He's a businessman. He's a fake businessman star.
Follow the money. Yeah.
He's like sociopath. Whatever. He don't have any beliefs. He don't care. He just cares about himself. So I think this is a little bit of a strategic move to be like, to win over, be like, hey, I'm not such a bad guy. Let me say something truthful, because in the past couple of years I've said, the election didn't happen. Hillary Clinton's a shapeshifter. Whatever else it is, I've said. And, some people are going to put in the comments, he never said Hillary Clinton was a shapeshifter. It's like, well, you never went to a party with him. You never had a fucking Diet Coke with the kid. But yeah, he obviously is peddling this election was stolen, which is what you call just a little white lie. Harmless. So here he is right now. This is what he says, and this is a passive-aggressive attack. And I love the way he says they're gutless and cowards, but then he's not saying who he's talking about, which is a little gutless and cowardly. So check it out.
I've taken it. I've had the booster. Many politicians, I watched a couple of politicians be interviewed, and one of the questions was, did you get the booster? Because they had the vaccine. And they're answering it like, in other words, the answer is yes, but they don't want to say it. Because they're gutless. You gotta say it. Whether you had it or not, say it. But the fact is that I think the vaccine has saved tens of millions of people throughout the world.
Okay, there you go.
I have had absolutely...
So this has been tough for a lot of people, because a lot of people on the right, I think the vax, Bill Gates crawls into your asshole, you have a heart attack, and, then you die of, some Russian disease or whatever. I don't know. But definitely Bill Gates crawls into your asshole. I think I read that. So, and the, cult of personality, I mean, Trump is really worshipped. He's bigger than the Republican Party. He's taking it over, really. I mean, he's taking it over. They begrudgingly have to side with his points because they know how popular he is. So this has been a tough one because the Republicans have been ranting about how the vaccine's so dangerous and bad. And here Trump just keeps, promoting it. Truth is, kid, from what I heard, the inside scoop is that he had it bad. He had it bad. And then Regeneron, which is the monoclonal antibodies, kind of popped them right back into shape. Synthetic antibodies they pump in you. They do essentially what the vaccine does, just later, and the antibodies are synthetic. They're lab made. I don't know why that feels like such a pure thing. That's not exactly eating a banana either. That's what I love about when people are like, oh, the vaccine's so dangerous. It's like, well, popping what are they called? Antibiotics? Those aren't bananas either. Those are nukes for your system. You take them, it kills everything in its sight. Yep. You know what I mean? And monoclonal antibodies, those are made in a lab. So, I mean, there's just, modern medicine comes with a few side effects. It's just, what can you do?
Plus, he wants to own the vaccines because he says that they were made under his administration.
Right. So he wants to take credit for it. He wants to take credit for it too. So that's what he's doing. And so he's a pretty savvy dude. I remember listening to when he would pretend to be his own publicist. You ever hear those? You ever hear those videos?
Yeah.
He would call the reporters and pretend to be his own publicist and go like, Donald Trump, the real estate tycoon, the most beautiful hair, the biggest moneymaker in the world, will be over here at this party. Come over here. And you're like, that's you, dog. But that was back then before the internet or anything. So it was like, maybe those people had never heard from him, but he was pretending to be his own publicist. I mean, this is how some people are wired,
It's a burner account.
But I mean, kids need to know this. It's not a pure world. There's some people out there who are just so obsessed with power, money, domination. You're going to come across these people, and they don't play fair. I've met very few people on this planet, actually, who play fair. I'm just being honest with you, I'm just being honest. I've met very few people who will play fair, and I've met even fewer people who will ever put the principle over their interest. Meaning that you think that they're good people, but once it comes to hurting them, that's when they'll back away. That's when they'll back away. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes to go backwards in lifestyle. So if someone's running their mouth, I'm for this cause, I'm from this cause, then someone goes, hey, we're going to cut your check, meaning not cut you a check. We're going to cut your check. You're going to stop receiving it if you keep saying that. Very few people will keep saying what they believe in. Very few. Very, very few. So stop this bullshit that people are good. This John Lennon world that we live in. Okay? I love John Lennon. It's a beautiful thing to hear the Imagine song, but what happened was he got killed by a deranged maniac because he was too idealistic. Okay? Kid should have had security. He should have been a little bit more realistic about the world. He's out there with Yoko Ono, fucking showing his glue gun off. You know? He broke up the Beatles. People are pissed.
Yep.
He's hanging out with her. She's going, yeah, 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 on songs. You know? She's got no talent except for probably a nice, tight, sweet. And that upsets people. You know what the Beatles meant to people? So he had some people out there who were angry at him for that. They're angry at him for the things that he's saying. Get a couple, hire fucking security. Hire security, John. You're out to imagine we're all one. We're not all one. We're never going to all be one. All the tigers aren't going to come together either. Like I said before, even carpenters and real estate lawyers won't fucking hang out. You expect we're all going to be one? I don't even want to hang out with people I don't like. The only thing is we need laws, and we need to be able to say, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. We need to be able to peacefully stay away from each other. That's the best you can hope for in life. People got different interests. People who don't even like the same music don't want to hang out with each other. You can't force people to hang out with each other. You can't force people to love each other. It's not going to happen. You know, I always hated that when people are like, gee, you just got to love more. It's like, I don't just give away my fucking love. You know what it takes for me to love somebody? It takes years. It takes commitment. It takes them doing something for me doing something for them. It's an action. Love is not a feeling. That's a movie. Love is an action. Remember that and you'll be fine. This just turned into Dr. Phil. But I'm sick of this idealistic, childish bullshit. And it comes from like teenagers and 20-year-olds. And it's good. It's good because at that age, you need to be idealistic. You know, but you also need to listen to older people. That's the problem. And that's what Socrates warned about in the Republic. You know, that's what happens. He goes, you know, democracy turns to tyranny because the young start acting like the old start acting like the young. There's no order. You have older people have been here longer. So they've experienced what you've experienced and they've learned. So keep your fucking asshole open for information. Listen to older people. They know what they're talking about. Some of them are fucking stupid, but some of them have wisdom. You know? And let me tell you, it ain't no cream puff out there. I'm becoming my father right now. John, Yanni, it ain't no cream. You're just farting in the wind. You're farting in the wind. So you got to be realistic, man. You know? Keep your guard up. Not everyone's great. Not everyone's great. And the worst time is some people pretend to be great. And then you get got. And then that's when you don't want to become bitter after that. You just want to learn from that and then just become more realistic. You know, words are cheap, dog. People run their mouth. You got to watch what they do. Actions speak louder than words is an old adage. Where did this start? Where did I start before I went on my dumb, pedantic harangue? I'm really like an annoying. If I was, I would annoy me. I'd be like, will you shut the fuck up and tell the jokes, clown? I'm not here to fucking, if I wanted to, I'd watch Oprah for this shit. Where did this start?
You were talking about Trump.
Not everybody's good. You know, a lot of people's actions don't really, you know, support their words. But you got into John Lennon about everyone loving each other, and you kind of got it was branched off of Trump and DeSantis coming together.
Yeah, I mean, Imagine All the People is a great song, but it's not a great reality.
No, it's not. It takes a lot to love somebody,
there's no religion. It's like, yeah, I imagined it, and then I woke up. And I woke up and there was. Hey, John, I imagined it, and then guess what? I got a phone call, and I came to, and I realized that there were, and there still are, and they always will be. And ain't nothing fixing nothing, baby. Okay? You got a fucking scorpion, you got a snake. You give that fucking scorpion a ride over that river, like the old adage goes, he's gonna sting you, and the frog's gonna go, why did you do that? And he goes, because I'm a fucking scorpion. I'm a scorpion, you jackass. That's why I stung you. So. Anyway, this had something to do with DeSantis and Trump.
Yeah.
It's because we were talking about Trump faking his own stuff. Faking yeah. So I was saying people are like this. This is like Trump cares about Trump. Trump is what you call a narcissist. I would say, even as a lay person, you'd go, this is what you call narcissistic personality disorder. He's almost talking in the third person like Ricky Henderson. He almost refers to himself as Czar Trump. The way he walks, the way, So, he's playing the game, and he's obviously, don't get a refund, just bring earmuffs. Positivity and good vibes to all that are not muted. Oh, they've been watching this on mute the whole time, because that's what happens when I get a phone call. Good. You didn't miss much. The comment roulette has been muted. They're just, imagine them watching me. It's almost like watching Hitler in German. They can't understand it. Just being going, but they can't hear a thing now. They're watching. Now we're demonetized. Anyway, so get ready for this race between Desantis and Trump. They're going to go at it probably in the primaries, right? Is that what this is called? The primaries, where the two go? And Trump will come out victorious. He's like The Rock.
I think the money Republicans like DeSantis, though.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, because he's like Trump without the tweets.
Yeah, and Trump may run into a problem with January 6th that might derail him. That's ongoing, but this was a fun one. This was throwing smoke, and I love the way that he called him gutless, but then he won't. It's like, say his name then. Why didn't you say his name? Why did you go? We know exactly who you're talking about. We know who you're talking about. So there's smoke. There's a lot of division. There's schisms. There's schisms everywhere. This is what extreme factions do. It's like there's schisms. There's schisms in the Democratic Party. There's schisms in old podcasts. There's schisms everywhere. Schisms happen. The iPhone is 15 years old. Schisms happen where there's extremism comes into play. Extreme behavior. Schisms happen. People get pulled farther and farther to the right and left until they become one. And they put us all in gulags. That would be a sweet ticket. Imagine because AOC and Trump secretly admire each other. They call and go like, I like your moves. Like, I like what you're doing. Like, you guys know how to make a spectacle of yourself. Because they make spectacles of themselves. And they're like, I kind of like the way you roll too, It's almost like the way in Heat, like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino kind of, it's like Batman and the Joker. Mm-hmm. It's like, what would I do without you? You're just too much fun. They need each other. It's like God and the devil. Yeah. So the iPhone turns 15 years old. So every 15-year-old has grown up with an iPhone. That's crazy to think that they've spent their whole lives with that thing. Maybe they, how we're so maladapted to it because it came into our lives, right? It came into your life too, right? So you're 24. It came into your life, so you lived a little life without it. The internet was always there, but the iPhone changed the game where you can just bring your computer with you at all times and just like, maybe they'll be more well adapted than we are because we got like bum rushed by it and we were like, this is so great. And we realized how boring life is. People are like, get off your phone. People are always like, you're on your phone too much. It's like, dog, do you know how boring people are? If people stepped up their game a little bit, then maybe I'd put my phone down. Yeah. If someone started a story with like, I just murdered 4 people, do you think I'm going to stroll on Twitter? Mm-mm. I'm listening. I'm all ears. If someone just says, man, I just came back from the Cayman Islands and I killed a woman in a casino, I'm not scrolling. But people's stories are usually boring. They're like, what'd you do today? I ate. It was what I had for lunch. And you're going like, let me see what's going on. Let me see what Donald Trump's tweeting, So people just need to up their games, and maybe that's why people are exaggerating the truth so much is because in order to get our attention nowadays, you really got to say something. You can't just come in and be like, hey, I'm a normal guy. You're like, all right, get out of here, normal guy. Entertain me. But the iPhone's 15 years old. It's a teenager, dog. I can't wait to see what it's like when it's 40 and every single iPhone in the world has a CCP-made microprocessor in it, and they have a full log of what you like to jerk off to, where you are at all times. If you've said anything about them, they just show up and hand you a smoothie for free, and that smoothie's got anthrax in it. I mean, they will get us all, dog. That's basically the brain of the iPhone. So a lot of people don't know that, but those are all, 80% of those, I believe, if I remember correctly, 80 or 90% of those are made in Taiwan. And guess who just took Taiwan? We've said it many times. And also, why do they want Taiwan so bad? Historically also, but also, Taiwan's a moneymaker. Taiwan's a moneymaker. So now you have a partner. When you scroll, you got eyes on you, dog. Thank you. Thank you, Apple. Thank you, Apple. I guess they got no choice. Those are where the microprocessors come from, and you got to do business. But you know that the Chinese government is in there. And finally, you know, there's shortages at the store of stuff because of the weather and the supplies. I went to get my wife tampons yesterday, and there was only like 2 boxes left. So, you know, what can you do?
Couldn't get no chicken breast yesterday, son.
You couldn't get any chicken breast, yeah. It's a little scary. It's starting to feel a little Venezuela-y.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. This is the highest, I think, inflation's been since 1982 as well.
Yeah.
So we got supply chain problems. They keep blaming the weather. And this is why people don't trust. Because this is what I was saying last episode. It's like, you got to stop. Everyone has the internet now. The internet, even though people are still as stupid as they've always been, the internet can give them any piece of information they want at any time. When the planes were delayed, they kept going weather. And then you'd look at the forecast and you'd be like, the weather's good countrywide. So why don't you just tell us the truth? The truth is you have staff shortages because people don't want to go back to work, or people have COVID, or your mask mandates aren't working. Okay? Stop pushing. If it's not working, it's not working. You know what I'm saying? Just admit it. But they don't want to give an ounce. They don't want to go, oh, the Republicans were right about the mask mandates. You know, so they keep lying and lying and lying and lying and lying. And who gets hurt? We all get hurt. There's no chicken breasts. My wife has to stuff tissues up her, you know? Because we're out of tampons. You know? You can't have a nice fucking chicken cutlet. You got to eat your red beet juice again.
Yeah, I got to have lentils.
You got to have lentils again. Kid's healthy. So you got to just be transparent. Like, the gig is up, dude. Stop saying the weather, because this is what they're blaming now on the shortages at the supermarkets. They're going, the weather. The weather's bad. You're going, dog. The weather was bad. We had 4 inches and it's gone. What are you talking about? The weather's bad.
Yeah.
You know, if I can walk in my driveway without slipping, there should be chicken cutlets in Long Island for Jared Harvin.
Correct.
So this is obviously a supply problem. This is obviously an inflation problem. This is obviously an economy problem. So it's scary, man. It lets you know how fragile this all is. You know, when certain people don't go to work, or there's staffing shortages, or whatever happens, it disrupts the whole chain. Like, we are so interconnected now. Like, what happens in China affects what happens here. What happens in Sri Lanka affects what happens. And it can it can make this country riot. What happens in Norway. What happens here also affects other countries. Because if we go broke, right, and people stop buying, I don't know what they sell in Norway, right? I know they have oil, but they probably sell fish. So if we start getting our fish, if people start eating less fish, then fucking Norway falls. It's a chain reaction. We're so interwoven that, like, this global economy is very fragile.
Yeah, bro.
And that's why those people who say, like, hey, isolationism, they have a point. Because they're like, yo, you got to be self-reliant. Because if shit goes off, let's say there's a plague in Norway. And like, yo, we don't have any fishing. We get all our fish from Norway. And you're like, yo, you better start putting a couple of those fucking kids on, take them off their John Deere tractors and throw some fishing rods in their fucking hands.
So would you say that this could be a good thing? That make humanity realize that we're all connected and that we all need each other and that we all need to see eye to eye and work together?
It could be a good thing, like anything, but will it be?
I mean, well, because COVID showed us that, but COVID actually had a setback within that whole grand scheme of like trying to progress. But this, we can easily fix it, but we need to like rely on each other and communicate with each other.
Well, that's why the optimism of the young is important, because that's why they balance each other out well. Because I'm just going, nope, we're all gonna die. But it's nice to hear a young, fresh perspective that maybe everyone will realize we're interconnected, we're all in this together, and we all affect each other. And there's aliens, and we should all just fight them.
Yeah, man. People always change on the precipice of things. When shit's about to go down, that's when they act. So, like...
Yeah. I happen to be of the opinion that the only thing that brings people together is a common enemy. That's a very cynical perspective, but that's all I've seen.
But you also grew up in Brooklyn, so it's a little bit skewed.
Yeah, it's a little skewed. You grew up in a place where, like, hey, man, I'm on my driveway, you're on yours.
Correct.
Yeah, we mind our own business.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe. You know, the suburbs is a different vibe out there. It's like you wave to your neighbor. It's like a detente. Everyone's kind of, nobody overly gets into anyone's business. Just a wave. How you doing, Jared? How's your mother? Nobody cares. But, you know, you going to King Cutlet? Yeah, I see you over Stop and Shop. Jared's over there. He's doing good. He's doing good in school, you know. He's doing a comedy. I don't know why he did that. He should have became a cop like his father. You know, his father's a good cop. His brother also became a cop.
Exactly.
He decides now he's sitting in a living room with some Greek maniac and they're yelling at the cameras. I mean, this kid, he could have had benefits. He could have made Sarge. He could have been a captain of Sarge. He could have been working the precinct right here on the island. Why leave the island, Jared? Why did you leave the island? This has been Long Days. And thank you. Patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. Go check out these new episodes me and Jared are doing together. They're very fun. Go check out the first one's already up there from last week. So go join. And we appreciate all you. And let's go join the Clips page at YouTube. And you remember the rule. Tell one friend about this show. We double our numbers. It's very important. Be proactive. Be proactive. Spread the word. And now let's get to our small business sponsors and new Patreon members who we shout out. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you'll see this. What's up, everybody? I want to give a shout out to our small business sponsors. We have 3 open spots. So go ahead if you want a small business or you want a shout out. Join. But for now, we want to give a shout out to our friends Nate Linder. NateLinder.com. He's a social media consultant. He builds websites, runs digital advertising campaigns, and offers in-depth consulting services. The prices are really good. If you need any help, your business needs any help, you need advice, you need guidance, you need somebody to handle your social media for you, go to NateLinder.com. Grant Trower is a real estate broker in the South Florida area. Call him 954-591-6465, or you can hit up his website, granttrower.theatlanticrealtygroup.com. Grant Trower. That's a fucking strong name. Grant Trower. Sounds like a superhero. Then we got, of course, Chris Minetti. If you're in the South Jersey area and you got to cash a check, I'm talking there's a name on a piece of paper, baby. Hand it to Chris. He should have even given me his last name. He should have just said, call me Chris. Stop by Minetti Financial Services, which is a little bit too fancy a name for what his business is. He should just call it, Chris, hand me paper, I hand you paper. Call him at 215-750-3730. You got a check, and that check's legit or kind of legit, he'll cash that check for you. All right, Philly, South Jersey area, Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. That's it. That's all you need to know. Call him and cash your check. The Bronx Brand, the dopest site. Have you checked it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah, they follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, how dope is it?
It's dope.
I'm telling you, dude. People need to go to thebronxbrand.com. Promo code FUMES for 15% off. Go buy something up there. The art, the shirts, the prints. It's so dope. It's original art. Go support the home of hip hop, the culture, New York City. Get a little piece of Bronx creativity in your crib. And support Bronx artists. They all get a revenue share of whatever they sell. So it's a super, super cool website. I'm very proud to have sponsors like that who are supporting artists. So please, BronxBrand.com. Just check it out. Start with perusing it. Just go. Take a peek for yourself. It's our cheesecakes. The most delicious cheesecakes on the planet. We have tasted them ourselves. Guys, don't play games. You got a party coming up, order them. They send them fresh to your house, packaged, so the freshness is maintained. EastsideCheesecakes.com. They will deliver anywhere now. It's an absolute godsend and an absolute treat for whatever occasion you're having, or if you just like cheesecake and want to munch on one, or if somebody's birthday, go to Eastside Cheesecake and get these homemade fresh cheesecakes and support that business because the quality is incredible. All right? No reason to get a cheesecake anyplace else when you can just get it delivered right to your doorstep. EastsideCheesecakes.com. Eastside Cheesecakes, all one word on the gram. ForTheFree.us. Lots of cool bands I've discovered on For the Free. I love music. All these bands in Hawaii, they showcase. They showcase the shows, list everything. They have music videos up there. Go to ForTheFree.us. It's all things music in Hawaii, and their website has all the info. It's quite a journey and quite a fun peruse. So go to ForTheFree.us and discover new bands. Enjoy it. And of course, ExclusiveAutoShipping.com. Jared Z, go get your free quote if you're moving your wheels anywhere in the country. ExclusiveAutoShipping.com. If you want to move your car anywhere, get a free quote. All right, want to welcome to the Patreon page Sam Bonista, Ash Gav, Lola Forever, Joe Papalardo. I mean, the sauce monkey level of that name, Papalardo. Hey, how you doing? This is Joe Papalardo. I ain't trusting no matter what business I'm doing. I'm keeping my eye on Joe Papalardo. Then we got Jamie Comey. Oh, I thought it was James Comey was here.
Could be.
It could be. Then we got secret trans operative here to cancel your sweet ass. Why is there not more fun ones? Are people not playing this game anymore? I mean, come on, dude. If you guys don't bring the heat, I'm going to stop reading these names. Then we got Tev. Oh, we got what you call a good old Sandra D here. Raja Jopal. And then we got Tev Raja Jopal. And then we got Cole Harshmuck. German. Harshmuck? Or Polish? Here's another good one. Sniff my bag and smash my bean, a.k.a. here for Maurice's ass pussy. Sniff my bag and smash my bean, a.k.a. I'm here for Maurice's ass pussy. Well done. Then Michael Davidson, Corey Peterson, and Joel Rawnsley. Welcome, guys. Patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. Come over to the dark side. Join the Fediverse over there. And we'll see you next week, man. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, tell one friend about this show. We double our numbers. It's really that simple. I know it sounds like too easy, but that's all it takes. You got one friend you think might enjoy the show. If everyone did that, boom, we double. And we keep going. It's that easy. So love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
It's been a